surrounded by so many book lovers. I can feel the passion, and it almost makes me want to start my own reading club. But while we are here to celebrate books and hear from some truly amazing authors, I'd like to flip a page for a moment and shift gears from books to business. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of Mixer World, a platform built for founders, innovators, and change makers to connect, share knowledge, and create opportunities together. At Mixer, our belief is simple. Growth happens when ideas meet the right people in the right conversations at the right time. Over the last few months, we have seen incredible energy in our mixers and focus groups across domains from sustainability to deep tech, healthcare to enterprise innovation. And the journey continues. I'm delighted to share a glimpse of what's next at Mixer World. So on October 22nd, we are hosting a special mixer on enterprise AI and knowledge management, exploring how emerging technologies are transforming the way organizations learn, scale, and innovate. On November 22nd, we'll be part of the Greenlit Fest, a platform that brings together conversations around climate, sustainability, and the power of stories to spark change. So here what you see is part of our Global Funders and Founders Delegation Series, Switch Singapore. Switch stands for Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology and Singapore FinTech Festival. In parallel, we are gearing up. So in parallel, we are gearing up for Founders Delegation to Dubai, a unique chance for startups to step into one of the world's most dynamic ecosystem and meet investors and accelerate their global expansion journey. Again, the goal is to take founders beyond borders, connecting them with investors, partners, and customers in Southeast Asia. So this is happening October 10th to October 17th, which is also again a part of the Global Funders and Founders Delegation Series. And now speaking of stories, we are especially fortunate today to have with us Dr. Madanmohan Rao, co-founder of Mixer World, research director at Your Story, and someone who has guided hundreds of founders in refining their pitch narratives. He has a rare gift for combining research, insights with practical storytelling, helping entrepreneurs move beyond numbers. Dr. Rao will be leading our pitch and storytelling workshop, where we'll dive into how startups can not only tell their stories, but also own it, inspiring investors, partners, and customers alike. So let's get ready for an engaging session ahead. I'd like to take this moment to welcome Dr. Madanmohan Rao on the stage.
Thanks, Mansui. Thanks to my colleague Sai, who is floating around somewhere else there, yes. And to my other colleague Vinay, who's doing a workshop for startups in Bangkok at the moment. We do these kinds of workshops across the world for entrepreneurs who want to pitch to different audiences. So thanks for coming for this festival. I want to share with you some of the work I've done on storytelling in a number of books on how tech founders can project their stories, communicate to others about what they do. Since many of you are students and academics here also, I'm going to share with you a whole bunch of freebies. The one you might like is the reviews of over 360 books. Most of them are over here on innovation, business management, digital transformation, and so on. So please dip into these resources for free. I'm going to begin with a lot of what we heard about in some of the earlier sessions on how do startups need to tell their stories, what are the ups and downs of the journeys, what should they do to address the needs of readers, and so on. So I wear multiple hats. I'm on the team of the Bangalore Business Lit Fest. We also had the Hyderabad edition a while ago. In fact, one of the books which won the award there is a book called The Startup Code by Mukesh Bansal. You guys all must read that book. If you guys are aspiring founders, you can learn all about how to build something and then scale it across. As you all know, Mukesh was the co-founder of Myntra and of Pure.fit, so leading fashion and leading fitness brands. So that's a very good book. And what we noticed is when we took a look at all the founders pitching at Your Story events, at Thai Bangalore events, at our own Mixer events, we noticed something very interesting in the last several years, which is there are 8 typical problems when founders pitch. The first one, as you can guess, especially in India, is overshooting the time limit, not finishing on time. Can you guess why founders can't finish on time? You tell them 3 minutes, but they can't stop. You give them 10 minutes, they still can't stop. Why? Yeah, they're so passionate about what they want to do. They're telling you about their whole story and how it is the best thing given to life, to humanity since sliced bread and all that stuff. But as a founder, you have to be very conscious about your time limit. How much time do you have and how much time you need to space yourself? And therefore, because of that, many founders start off very well. Towards the end, they say, oh shit, I've got only 1 minute left and I've got 35 slides. And they just go like a bullet train through all their slides. So these are some of the problems. As you can guess, many of them are pretty self-evident. I want to focus a bit more on one of the last one. No connection between the personal and the professional. Okay, now if you're an investor looking at startups, investors see hundreds of pitch decks every month and they all are just spreadsheet kind of stuff. But investors, business partners, even employees want to know, never mind about the business logic. Who are you as a human being? Who are you as a founder? And what are you doing? Whether you are fresh out of graduate school, whether you're still a student entrepreneur, whether you're a mid-career professional who wants to become an entrepreneur, what is your story? So, the first part I just talked about was the pitch deck. These are 10 elements that you must have in your pitch deck, either maybe 1 minute per slide kind of thing or 30 seconds per slide. You can figure out what is your pace of speaking, etc. But you can find many examples of these pitch decks on our website, mixer.world. We've published over 200 pitch decks of startups who have gone through our storytelling workshop and they've pitched and they've got different kinds of funding after that. So it's a free resource. Please dip into this. The second part is storytelling, which is how do you connect your personal story to your product, to your solution, and so on. So typically, most founders focus on product market fit, which you heard about a bit earlier in one of the earlier panels. But the more interesting part for investors is the connection between the founder and the problem. What makes you uniquely qualified to be a person to say, I know this problem, and therefore, because of my skills, I know the solution. So you need to show your own fit to the problem much better than others. Now, if you look at storytelling, there's tons and tons of books out there on storytelling. Many of them are here on display as well. So what we've done is I've integrated some of the lessons for this into this tool called the Story Canvas for entrepreneurs, for founders. So you've all heard of the business model canvas. You must begin with that in your founder journey. You've all heard of the value proposition canvas. That means with the second tool that you use. This is the third tool that all of you as innovators, intrapreneurs, founders, etc. must use. So interestingly, it's also kind of like an inverted S, the story. And as you can see, it's got three parts. The past, the present, and the future, which is the structure of pretty much any story. So the past typically is, who are you? Where did you grow up? What are the influences? What were the aha moments for you to get some insight for your startup? Or what is the ouch moment where you saw a problem and said, I want to solve this? Then you move to the present. What are you talking about? What are the challenges you faced? How you want to overcome them? And the last part is the future. Where is all this going? What is your message to the ecosystem? What are your lessons that you've learned from your journey to share with other entrepreneurs and so on? Okay, so this is the typical structure of a story, but it doesn't have to be the flow of the story. Okay, this is the interesting part. Storytelling is not just a science. It connects to the emotions of people. It makes them remember things better and so on. But the most important thing is it's a craft, it's an art. So let me give you, to wrap up, 3 different kinds of stories where you can begin in the past or the present or the future. You all know Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Who is he? What does he do? All the students out here, you know them very well, founder of Paytm. I've heard him speak many times at our events and other events. He always begins by saying, I grew up in a small town in North India. Then I went to Delhi. I was very intimidated in engineering college. People are speaking very fast English, Hindi. I used to sit at the back. But I swore to myself that when I make products, I will make them so easy to use that anybody from that small town of mine can also use these tools. Fast forward X number of years when he launched Paytm, he noticed that when you go to all these small stores, all these SMSs are coming. And sometimes the store owners can't see the messages. They are too busy with other things. They may lose some transactions. So he said, how can I overcome this challenge for them to do multitasking without losing on payments? That's when he came up with, can you guess what he came up with? The sound box, yeah. So that was one of his inventions where he said, I want to come up with this so that it's very easy for people to use these kinds of products. Type number 2 story is describe what you're doing today. The easiest thing to do is, we are so-and-so, this is what we do. For example, you've heard of Porter. What does Porter do? Yeah, transport. And they call themselves, we are the Uber of logistics. There's Uber for people, there's Uber for logistics. That's what we do. That's a very easy way of describing what you do in the present. Type number 3 story is, you actually begin with the future and then bring people back into the present. You've heard of Akshay Patra. What is Akshay Patra? Yeah, it's India's biggest free midday meal program for government schools. They could easily begin by saying that, but they don't. I've heard the pitch many times. They begin the story by saying, imagine a world in the future where no student is illiterate because they didn't get food in schools. Imagine a future where no child is hungry and therefore can't finish school. We want to create that kind of a world. Come and join us. We are India's biggest midday meal program. Join us as a founder, as an employee, as a sponsor, and so on. Okay? So it's entirely up to you to figure out what story do you want to tell, what elements to put in there, what sequence you want to go, and what kinds of tools you want to use. You can either talk like this, or you can do a video, you can do a pitch deck combined with this story, or different kinds of things. Okay? All the best to you. May 1,000 startups bloom, and I want to see some of you guys coming up here next year to come and pitch your stories. You can find many examples of these stories in all these books over there. Good luck, all the best, enjoy the festival.